Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise, give you the insights you need, and, well, maybe a few surprises too.
Absolutely.
Today, we're diving into something really exciting, I think, for anyone passionate about visual storytelling. You know, whether you're a seasoned pro or maybe just starting out.
hmm
Imagine getting your hands on professional filmmaking tools, stuff that, honestly, until pretty recently felt like it was just for high-end studios.
Right. Way out of reach for most people.
Exactly. But that reality, it's closer than ever. Okay, let's unpack this. We're focusing on this piece of news. It's more than just a sale, really. The Sony Alpha 7R V camera, super capable, hit a new record low price on Amazon Renewed.
Yeah, I saw that.
But like I said, it's not just this one camera. It's kind of a window, a fascinating one, into this huge shift that's happening right now in, well, the whole world of making images, making films.
And what's fascinating here really is that this isn't just some random markdown, is it?
Sure.
It's when you look at this price drop, and then you kind of zoom out and consider all the other sources you shared, everything from other camera deals, industry trends, these really deep technical dives. It paints a picture of a landscape that's evolving incredibly fast.
Yeah.
So our mission today really is to explore what this news and all the other stuff like it actually means for you. You know, if you're an independent creator, an aspiring filmmaker, maybe doing commercial work, or even just curious about how this top-tier tech is suddenly, well, available. It's changing the game.
It really is, and the range of info we have is pretty amazing, isn't it?
It's quite a collection.
We're pulling from specific deals, like the Amazon Renewed ones, but also, like you said, deep dives into pixel engineering, and even artistic choices, like the fact that Dune Part 3 is apparently going to be shot on actual film.
Which is a whole other fascinating conversation.
Right, so it just shows how tech is advancing, but also, crucially, how it impacts everyone, from Hollywood blockbusters right down to your passion project.
Exactly.
So let's zoom in on the star today, the Sony Alpha 7RV. Now, this isn't just, another camera with a big spec sheet. Sony designed this as something, well, more ambitious. It felt like a deliberate attempt to merge real cinema-grade video with that raw power, that incredible resolution you get from a top-end stills camera.
A true hybrid.
Yeah, a hybrid marvel designed to nail both without making you compromise.
And it absolutely delivers on that promise. I mean, at its heart, you've got that 61-megapixel full-frame sensor. Now, for still shooters, landscapes, architecture, studio stuff, that is a staggering amount of detail. You get incredible cropping room, huge prints.
Sure.
But the key thing for filmmakers, and why we're talking about it, is how you can use all that data, that high resolution, for video. So this sensor lets you shoot native 8K video, 24p, 25p, ultra-detailed stuff. But maybe even more impressively, it uses 6.2K oversampling to generate incredibly sharp 4K.
Okay, so explain that oversampling bit more. You're capturing more than you need for the final 4K.
Exactly. You're recording far more pixel information than your final 4K output actually uses.
Yeah.
And the result is this incredibly clean, super detailed footage. It effectively gets rid of things like moire, aliasing. You get this stunningly crisp 4K image. It holds up beautifully to heavy color grading, VFX work, even like punching in, reframing in post. No noticeable pixelation or quality loss.
Right, so it's not just about the raw pixel count, it's how they're intelligently used, especially for that high-quality 4K output. And it's not just the resolution making it a serious film tool, right? The video features go deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Resolution's just the start. You get 10-bit 4.2.2 color sampling. That is crucial, just vital for rich cinematic grading. Think billions of colors instead of millions. It practically eliminates issues like color banding, and smooth gradients like skies or walls. It gives your colorist huge flexibility to really sculpt the look in post. You can push the grade really hard without the image just falling apart. Plus, it has the professional S-Santone and S-Log3 profiles built in.
Ah, right, Sony's cinema profile.
Exactly. S-Santone gives you that lovely filmic look. Straight out of camera saves time. S-Log3 captures massive dynamic range. It's flat, but gives you maximum info for color correction, matching cameras. It lines up perfectly with Sony's Cinema line FX3, FX6, even Venus. So footage from the 7RV just slots right into a multicam workflow. Super efficient.
Yeah, that seamless integration, that's huge for anyone mixing gear on a shoot. Now, thinking about the whole Sony Alpha family, where does the 7RV really sit? You've got the A7S, the legendary low-light cinema camera.
The low-light king, known for performing in really tough conditions.
And then there's the Alpha 1, the flagship, does everything, seemingly at an insanely high level, master of all trades.
Precisely. And the 7RV doesn't really try to replace either of those. It carves out its own very specific, very powerful niche. While the SRV owns the dark, and the A1 is the top-tier speed demon for everything, the 7RV is the one bringing unmatched resolution to the party. For stills and video, it doesn't compromise its video features to get there either. It's really for those who genuinely need both incredible stills detail and top-notch video, often in the same project.
Okay, so who is that person? Who are these creators living between worlds that need this specific hybrid power?
Well, think about commercial filmmakers. They might need stunning high-res product shots,
Right.
and then immediately need to shoot a cinematic ad spot for the same client, back-to-back sometimes. Or documentary storytellers, they need amazing stills of people, places, but also broadcast-quality video for the narrative.
Makes sense.
And independent creators, too. Maybe YouTubers with really high production values, or small production houses where everyone wears multiple hats. They need one super versatile tool that doesn't force a compromise, whether it's a short film, social media stuff, or capturing landscapes for a magazine. The 7RV just lets them do it all without sacrificing quality on either side.
That specific user case makes a lot of sense. And, for a camera this packed with features, getting the most out of it, that means digging deep, right? One of our sources mentioned how useful in-depth guides are, exploring really specific things like the different auto white balance modes, standard, ambience, white.
Oh yeah, those subtle settings can make a big difference.
Exactly. How those choices affect the footage, the JPEGs. It's a reminder that, yeah, the tech is amazing, but knowing how to actually use it, master the nuances, that's just as important.
That's such a crucial point about mastery. And, if we connect this back to the bigger picture, this Sony 7RV price drop, it's not just a one-off thing. It's not happening in isolation. This is part of a much larger, really significant trend across the whole camera industry.
It really is. We've seen so many examples lately, haven't we?
Yeah, quite a few.
The Canon EOS R5C, another powerhouse hybrid, great for video, also hit record lows on Amazon Renewed. Even the Nikon Z9, their mirrorless flagship, saw a big drop, especially bundled with that FTZ2 adapter.
Which is key for adapting all those older Nikon lenses.
Yeah.
Right? Opens up options.
Exactly. Crucial for people moving from DSLRs. And it's not just hybrids. The Blackmagic Pocket 6K G2.
A favorite for indie filmmakers.
Totally. Now at its lowest Amazon price. Even niche stuff like that Yolicam S7, people call it TikTok's large sensor streaming camera, got cheaper on Amazon. These aren't just random sales figures. They point to something bigger happening.
No, definitely not random.
Yeah.
What this pattern really shows is this profound trend. Professional cinema technology is becoming, well, democratized. Cameras that used to be strictly for top studios, costing tens, even the thousands, they're now increasingly within reach. For indie creators, small businesses, passionate amateurs.
Why now, though? What's driving it?
Well, it's a mix of things, I think. Manufacturing efficiencies are catching up, so components like sensors, processors are getting cheaper. The market's also maturing. More brands are jumping into pro video, so competition gets fierce. That drives innovation, sure, but also more aggressive pricing.
Right.
So it's not just about affordability. It's about unprecedented access to really top-tier gear at much lower entry points than, well, ever before. It just lowers that barrier to entry significantly, and that changes who gets to tell stories, how they get told.
And it goes beyond just the main camera bodies too, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Our sources highlighted how this accessibility is spreading. You can find, this affordable drone is a perfect starting point for young filmmakers easily on Amazon now. Aerial shots for everyone.
Yeah, democratizing the skies, too.
Right. There's even stuff like the Missirun S1 Kids camera showing photography basics can start super young. Or, if you want that old school feel, analog options like Kodak's $50 EKTAR H35 are making a comeback. Different aesthetic, still accessible.
It's all about empowering more people, isn't it? At every budget, every skill level, giving them tools to capture their world, tell their stories visually.
Yeah.
And this whole shift, this accessibility, it's incredibly exciting. It's genuinely transformative for filmmakers, really, at any scale. That technical barrier is just dropping rapidly. It means we're going to see and are seeing a much broader, more diverse range of voices and stories emerge.
Yeah.
And that itself has, profound artistic, even societal implications, fostering understanding through shared visuals.
That's a powerful idea, greater understanding through visual stories. So, okay, beyond just price and access, this market is also just bursting with innovation and choice.
Completely.
Let's dive into some of those other developments from our sources, because this access isn't happening in a quiet market, it's dynamic.
It really is. The market's incredibly diverse now. There seems to be a specialized tool for almost any need, any shooting style you can think of.
Yeah.
You see it in the comparisons people make, Canon CINEMA line, C70 versus C80 versus C400,
Yeah.
each for slightly different workflows, scales,
Mm-hmm.
or the debates around Sony FX30 versus FX3, crop sensor reach versus full-frame depth. Each has its strengths for cinematic looks. Even at the very high end, Blackmagic is pushing hard, publishing readout speeds for their URSA signed 12K LF and PYXIS 6K.
Why are readout speeds important again?
They tell you how fast the sensor scans the image. Faster speeds mean less rolling shutter, that wobbly effect on fast movement.
Right.
It affects image integrity. So publishing those shows continuous, really cutting-edge development. And then there are discussions about Nikon seriously entering the cinema space, the potential impact of RED. It's just a vibrant, competitive field. Constant innovation is the baseline.
And it's not just new cameras, but fundamental tech advancements pushing the limits.
Yeah.
Like Canon quietly re-engineering the pixel itself for large sensors, trying to fix basic flaws. What kind of flaws?
Well, inherent limitations digital sensors have always had. Things like improving noise and low-light cleaner images in the dark. Boosting dynamic range, capturing more detail in the brightest highlights and darkest shadows at the same time. That's huge.
Okay.
And just enhancing color fidelity right at the sensor. Basically redesigning the pixel to get a more truthful, maybe more organic image straight out of the camera. And then you get specialized gear like the world's fastest FPV drone, 350 kilometers an hour. That's not just a gimmick. It unlocks totally new shots for niche stuff, incredible high-speed tracking that was impossible or wildly expensive before. The pace is just, yeah, breathtaking.
It really is. And all this tech, this variety, it enables this huge expansion of artistic vision, artistic choice. Think about Dune Part 3 will be shot on film. In this digital age, like one source said, film is that beautiful, defiant whisper of imperfection, human touch that some stories need.
It's a powerful statement, isn't it?
It really is. Shows it not just about the newest thing, but the right thing for the story. And then you see industry insights like the cameras of Emmys 2025. Sony Venice is still dominant at the high end, but then you see surprises like the DJI Ronin 4D showing up. What does that tell us?
That industry data is gold. It shows what's actually being used and trusted on high-level TV productions. Reliability, image quality, workflow. Venice dominance isn't shocking. Its look and performance are proven. But the Ronin 4D integrated gimbal, full-frame sensor making that list, it shows innovative, specialized tools can carve out a space. Flexibility, unique features can challenge the norms.
Right.
But ultimately, all this tech serves the human side, the storytelling, which is captured beautifully in ideas like cinematography as empathy from Mads Friedel and Velby.
Yeah.
With more accessible tools, we're not just getting technically better images. We're seeing more diverse perspectives. People from all backgrounds sharing their experiences. That fosters connection, you know. It's a good reminder. Behind every lens, every sensor, there's a person trying to connect, evoke emotion, tell a resonant story.
That's a really profound way to frame it, the human element driving the tech. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Whether you're deep diving specs on an URSA Cine 17K or just grabbing a budget 360 cam like a GoPro Max, this huge range of options, this constant innovation, it just underscores an incredibly dynamic, empowering time for creators.
Definitely.
Your creative toolkit is expanding constantly. More power, more choice than ever. It's not just an exciting time to be interested in filmmaking. It's an amazing time to actually be a creator.
So yeah, to briefly sum up the landscape we've walked through, we're looking at a market just flooded with advanced tech that's getting more affordable all the time. You've got hybrid powerhouses like that Sony Alpha 7 RV, specialized cinema cameras, tons of accessible entry-level gear. The tools for high-quality visual storytelling are just, well, they're right there, more available than ever.
So here's a final thought to maybe chew on. With those technical barriers to cinematic quality falling away so fast, and these powerful tools becoming so much easier to get, how does that challenge you, the creator, to focus even more intensely on the story, on the craft, on the unique voice you bring?
Good question.
Maybe the real differentiator now isn't just the camera you have, but the depth of your vision, the authenticity of how you tell your story. Something to ponder for your next project. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.